So what we did is we already put our bolts up front here. There's just an angle bar up there that has that. And then we just got to put these two straps. They say put the longer strap, which this back one is longer because it's taller and it's longer. I'm going to put the bolts going out towards the outer vehicle just to be consistent on how I like to put things in there. So basically the hole for this isn't big enough, so I have to figure that out. I'll be back. Alright, so what I figured out is basically you hang it and then you stick your screw through it a little bit and you have to screw it through. Very tight fit. All right, with a little finesse, we were able to get that in there. The bolt was actually bigger. Yeah, Cupcakes, you love playing with the car, huh? Yeah, but the bolt was a little bit bigger than this actual bend here, so I just had to drill it out a little bit, which was kind of challenging because it's a very soft metal, but I was able to get it a little bit bigger, and then I could thread the bolt through it by tightening it down. So we got them both installed. All right, now I can get into a rhythm. So basically, you have an image, and then you have all the parts that you can lay out on our old rug to mimic the image to make sure you have everything. And then I obviously have my gas tank over here. At first I was like, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. But those are intentional bends that we actually have to work around here later on. The first thing we gotta do is take our vent and attach the bushing to it. So go ahead and screw that in. They show a vise and a 7/16 or 7/8 wrench. I nor have either right now, so I'm going to utilize the tools that I have. There, we got that one, and then we'll just open up you. Tight as it's gonna get. There we go. First step is we've got to flatten out these bends. You got 3 of them. You have this one right here where you can see that technically it's bent up, so that way then it fits into the cars properly. This is a different car than what this is built for, 2015 Mustang. So we have 2 and 3. We don't have to worry about that one. That one's still okay. As you can tell, it's powder coated, so when you move powder coat, you know it's not as forgiving as paint. Good thing is this is not gonna be seen. That seems to be a pretty good spot. I got long arms. It's balanced. Sometimes you run into problems because you build your stand so tall that technically the jack won't reach where you need to go. Let's see if I can slide these lifter blocks in there. That's exactly what we want. Front has about a 2-inch gap right here. Okay, that's what's going on. I think we're in a pretty good rough alignment on height. Move it over on the left. Bring this around. What I love is we got one in. Professional builder guy. He made it seem a lot harder. One thing I do notice is the parts where we just bent it that is flat build with those duckbills. The part where we just bent it with duckbills is actually the spot that the actual post ran up, but I'll show you that in a second. Move you around. Move up and around. And now I can kind of see what he was saying. Hey guys, we're making a video here. Okay, so we're gonna put a pause in this one real fast. I'll show you something. You see where that is? It's right there lining up against where we actually flatten those pieces out. So it's good that we got them nice and flat because that's what sucks it up flush against the frame. This frame is tucked up right up against the actual tank, so the life is good. If you'll notice on this one, is you see how that's kind of right there, it's kind of hitting the actual bolt of the tank. They do mention that sometimes that bar that comes down that's holding that bolt needs to be tapped levelingly forward a little bit so the tank fits in better. Let's try that. So I lowered the tank a little bit so I could get a nice good whack on this bar to move it forward so it doesn't touch that area right there. I like to start off with rubber mouse just because I feel like it's less damage, but if I need to, I can get something a little bit stronger. I feel like that did it, honestly. It did give it a nice little move. Easy way to check it is now I can bring this up and you can instantly see it's no longer touching the tank sidewall. It's just going to go right up on that seam that we flattened out earlier. So I think we did it with the rubber mallet. Got our bolts in our pocket because that's how I always roll. Went golfing this morning, got a 54. Oh, sorry, 53. That's my second worst score, third best score. So it's not horrible. All right, so first thing, put that bolt back through the top. Second thing, grab that strap. Make sure it looks like it's lying through there. Third thing, yeah, that is a tight fit. He did mention that would be a tight fit, and that's why he uses a longer bolt first. You know what? I think I need to flatten that out a little bit more. And that's gonna help me get that. Holy moly. I think I got it there. I think that's enough threads. Now, my understanding is as I crank that down, it's gonna definitely straighten it up and get us where we need it to be. I think they could do that a little nicer. I'm sure there's a torque spec. I don't think there's that much room to get that bolt all the way tightened. So, all right, after a little finagling, I got this one in. I really like how that looks. I feel like that is exactly how you want it. As you come around to the other side, I can see what they mean. That bar, I don't know, maybe it does need to come a little farther out so it kind of comes up more parallel right here. But I don't think I want to do that, I guess, parallel right here. I don't think I want to do that because I feel like you only want to bend the weld so much, and the strap is more than enough to hold it in there. It's definitely tight. I can keep going if I wanted to, but it's only going to continue to bend that 90 degree straight and versus pulling up. If I grab onto this, that whole car is not even budging. So I think operation complete. All right, fuel level gauge. We're gonna go ahead and install that. First thing you wanna do is get your O-ring. You put a little petroleum jelly on it. So you go ahead and you stick that right there. Next, level. All right, it's gonna be orientated like this. This goes up and down and it tells you how much gas you have in there. All right, so now we go ahead, slide it on in. Just that right there, and line that up. Nice and flat, looks like it's perfect. we'll take our locking ring here. You can see it has the little angles to lock it in there. We want to get all 4 sides started. So let's see, there we go. And now we go ahead and we start it by hand. Now that it's started by hand, we're going to spin it a little bit, and it requires a little finesse. Just spun a little there. Let's come over on each side just to make sure that we're not taking advantage of one tab. There's 4 of them. See, it's slowly moving around. What I'm watching is the tabs, making sure they're spinning and that it's getting underneath here, underneath these tabs here with some good pressure, because that rubber gasket needs to be held down tight. And I think I'm pretty close, because you don't want to go too far and then it just spins because you over tighten the jar in essence. You can see it also as I do this, it technically kind of moves a little bit, and it goes left and right, meaning that this locking collar is a little bit smaller than the area which it's locking. So we want to make sure that we're being careful not to go too far one side, then it won't fit, because there's a no gap right there right now because I hit this direction, and there's a good 1/8 of an inch gap over here. So we're at the end of the edges, so to me that is about as far as we want to go with it. What I do want to do is make sure that we have equal pressure on it, so I'm going to just take this, lightly tap it, and go this way one more time, just because, there you go. So now, let me take the overview. So you can easily see now that this gap on this side is very similar to that on all 3 of these tabs that are larger. That means it's in the center, and that is not going anywhere. All right, next up is the fueler neck, but we are actually going to pause. This is the hole that you actually stick the stainless tube through, and it technically needs a gasket that holds it nice and firm in there, so that way you don't have any gas leaking anywhere, anytime. They say that this gasket that is supplied by Factory 5, it just needs to, be a better product. So I actually ordered the Ford piece. It should get here on Sunday, so once that comes in, we'll get that finished. But now we have our fuel hanger. This does not have the pump in it because we're going to do an external pump. We have our fuel vent just in case the car flips over, and we have our fuel level sensor, which will give us how much gas is in the car. I do think that this is a 17-gallon tank, but right now that's what it looks like.